lovelies, and welcome to the Graveyard Club. Have a seat, have a drink, enjoy the show. And today, we're doing something different than usual. Because I wanted to, and I wanted to read some spooky things, if you could say. And one of the spooky things I do like is SCP entries. It's just such a interesting thing because you would say it's almost like based on reality and with strange things, but yeah. And honestly, I just wanted to share some SCP stuff with you guys. And the sharing is mostly about, well, even now, SCP has its own printed book now, which you can even get even today. And that book is made by books.com. Let me just write the comment, and that should give me back a link. And I'm going to read the entries from this book today. And this book even says what the SCP is about, and how it works, and what it whole Keter and Euclid things like that. It's quite nice. Let me show you some pictures if I can. I should be able to. And yes. This was my OG pictures, which I presented you, and I forgot to manipulate it for this stream, so you can look at it like this way, but the actual pages, which I will be showing as I'm reading it, will be edited and will be much more clearer. So yeah, how did these books came to be? Well, I don't know what was initial push, but they are, I don't know when, I think 2 years ago, I saw an Indiegogo campaign, which I can again link. Somehow I stumbled upon it, which did this one. And as I said, even back then, I loved reading SCP entries, even a few popular ones. Honestly, I never played the games, because mostly multiplayer, but I loved reading about them. But my knowledge about them was never complete. And getting the book, seeing this, I saw opportunity to complete my knowledge. Not complete it, but expand it. And yeah, I took part in this Indiegogo, and I got, as you can see, the limited edition bookcases, exclusive slipcase, and exclusive dust jacket. I augmented reality. I should be able to show you something like, here are the books. Red journal, yellow journal, and black journal. Today we're gonna read about from the red journal one. And since I did get the limited edition, I also got something else. Wait, this is one the book I'm gonna read, and this is a calendar, which is still 2021, but still, it's still on my. I am hanging on and just using it as some pretty pictures, you could say, and it's great. The artists are great. It just gives so much feeling to it, so much realism, so much surrealism. It's great looking at it. And other swags, like 3 posters. One of them is Shy Guy. You should want to look at it. And postcards, vinyl, and actually not NFT, RFT card, which I can program. I never use for anything because for what purpose could I use? But I can think of a few, which I can talk later on. But yeah, this is what I got here. And as I said, let me show it again. These books have a special feature. They have augmented reality. Bookcases, as they say, exclusive dust jacket and augmented reality, which I did take a video of it. You can download a mobile app, and if you look at it, the cover with that mobile app, there's an animation. Let me show it to you. Here it is, should be visible now. And this is the animation when you look at it with that. No audio, but it shows you the witch doctor and how it just spells out. It's lovely. And each of the bookcases have one of these. I only took out the video of this one because I'm reading it from this one. If you're more interested about the book, well, you have the book command, exclamation mark book, and you can check it out yourself. But for now, yep, this is the correct slideshow. As I said, why are you going? Stop. You should be manual. Thank you. You should not be going without I might say so. Excuse me? Who said you can move forward? You little shit! Okay, maybe now you won't be moving with I might say so. Alright? Yeah, it seems like. Also, I just noticed I don't have any background music, and let me just do something about that. Or you guys know any good background music? Because of course I am always forgetting about something. Never mind that I needed an extra hour to finish cropping the images, so we can show it normally here. I always forget about something. Let's see if this still works. Well, it should. In the background, I hope it's hearable, or at least some nice backgrounds. The noise is not really fitting, but again, I forgot about that. I'm so sorry about that. Next time I'm gonna have better background music. Or I can just search up something on YouTube. Let me try that. People background music. Dark ambient. Perfect. Let me get this on stream. Perfect. This will be fine. So yeah, let us start. Don't mind, guys. First page is, well, from the Red Journal. Wait, why did I hide the book cover? Let me just put this, not you, up here in the corner. You can spice out on that corner there. And just in case, you should be first page, which just says what it is, classified, and who it belongs to. I never feel that because I don't want to. Well, it isn't damaging it, but still, I don't like to put things in there. And I forgot I'm using the freaking radio demon.
Okay, now my normal verse will be, because I wanted to use this for some special raiding, not normally, and I just noticed it. Well, it happens. Next page. And it's just classified document about something, maybe from the administrator. As you can see, he did sign it. Mankind in its present state has been around for 250,000 years, yet only the last 4,000 have been of any significance. So what did we do for nearly 250,000 years? We huddled in caves and around small fires, fearful of the things that we didn't understand. It was more than explaining why the sun came up. It was the mystery of enormous birds with heads of men and rocks that came to life. So we called them gods and demons, begged them to spare us, prayed for salvation. In time, their numbers dwindled and ours rose. The world began to make more sense when there were fewer things to fear. Yet the unexplained can never truly go away if the universe demands the absurd and impossible. Mankind must not go back to hiding in fear. No one else will protect us, and we must stand up for ourselves. While the rest of mankind dwells in the light, we must stand in the darkness to fight it, contain it, and shield it from the eyes of the public. So that and again, I'm forgetting things. While it contain it and shield it from the eyes of the public, so that others may live in the sane and normal world. We secure, we contain, we protect. The administrator. And this just describes what kind of universe SCP is. Basically, it's our normal world with the unexplained, with the unknown, with strange creatures roaming around. And basic SCP is trying to protect the normal world where normal people dwell. And this administrator guy is the leader of SCP Foundation. And honestly, I have no idea what kind of guy administrator there is, because to my knowledge, he himself is an SCP entry. But he isn't in this book right now. He will be on later. So next page is about object classes, because there's many anomalies that SCP contains, and each have its own, well, not class as it says. It's how classes just indicates how dangerous an anomaly is. Here it is. All anomalous objects, entities, and phenomena requiring special containment procedures are assigned an object class. An object class is a part of the standard SCP template and serves as a rogue indicator for how difficult an object is to contain. In universe, object classes are for the purpose of identifying containment needs, research priority, budgeting, and other consideration. An SCP's object class is determined by the number of factors, but the most important factor are the difficulty and purpose of its containment. So mostly the object class is about how to contain it and how hard it is to contain. There seems to be 4 categories: Thief, Euclid, Hitter, and Tomiel. Tommy. It's Tommy now. Tomiel. let's read about safe. Safe, the locked box test. If you lock it in a box, leave it alone, and nothing bad will happen, then it's probably safe. Safe class SCPs are anomalies that are as easily and safely contained. This is often due to the fact that the Foundation has researched SCP well enough that containment does not require significant resources, or that the anomalies require a specific and conscious activation or trigger. Classifying SCP as safe, however, does not mean that handling or activating does not pose a threat. So again, I reiterate, when something is classified as safe, it doesn't mean using it is safe or using it is, well, not worth ending. It's mostly how to contain it. To be safe, it needs to be triggered by something actively. So it's easy to contain it once you have it. Like the locked box test did say. Hey, Tianshiku. Tianshi. She. Welcome. Welcome to the Graveyard Cup. Have a seat, have a drink, enjoy the show. And thank you for following me. Following me? No, you just subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Holy hell. I just noticed subscribing. Thank you for that. Just lurking. It's fine. It's fine. Do feel free to chat and ask questions if you have some about, or I'm not reading it properly. Let's go on to the second class. Euclid. The locked box test. If you lock it in a box, leave it alone, and you're not entirely sure what will happen, then it's probably Euclid. Euclid-class SCPs are anomalies that require more resources to contain completely, or where the containment isn't always reliable. Usually, this is because the SCP is insufficiently understood, inherently unpredictable. Euclid is the object class with the greatest scope. It's usually a safe bet that an SCP will be discussed if it doesn't easily fall into any other standard object classes. As a note, any SCP that autonomous, sentient, and/or sapient is generally classified as Euclid, due to the inherent unpredictability of an object that can act or think on its own. So yeah, most of the sentient or sapient ones, basically anything that can talk or think, is Euclid. So as it said, most of them will fall into it, like the Witch Doctor, not King in Red, because it's King in Yellow, but Scarlet King. But okay, Scarlet is more like Tamuel. Or Catter, basically. But basically, yeah. Even the Toy Maker is Euclid. Wait, Toy Maker is an SCP entry, but most of its creations are Toy Factory, not Toy Maker, Toy Factory. Sorry, just drinking a bit. If I remember correctly, yeah. And Keter is, well, Keter, the locked box test. If you lock it in a box, leave it alone, and it easily escapes, then it's probably Keter. Keter class SCPs are anomalies that are exceedingly difficult to contain consistently or reliably, with containment procedures often being extensive and complex. Foundation often can't contain these SCPs well due to not having a solid understanding of the anomaly, or lacking the technology to properly contain or counter it. Keter SCP does not mean the SCP is dangerous, just that it's simply very difficult or costly to contain. I think most of the dangerous ones, like I can't remember the number of it. The one statue that snaps your neck if you look at it is Keter. The Lizard is a killer as well, because it's hard to contain. It's possible, but it's hard. And there's Cain and Abel as well. I think those are the killer ones. I'm sure we're gonna read a few of them here. And there's Samuel. The logbook test. If it is the box, then it's probably Samuel. Samuel class SCPs are anomalies that the Foundation specifically uses to contain other SCPs. Even the mere existence of Samuel class object is classified at the highest level of the Foundation, and their locations, functions, and current status are known to few Foundation personnel outside of O5 Council. And here's the first mentioned O5 Council, which is heading the whole SCP Foundation. To my knowledge, there's 13 members, which are unknown, except one, which is the administrator, is part of it, to my knowledge. And even there's a few stories about O5 Council using SCPs for furthering their goals in some way or capacity. Next page. Clearance and classification. Foundation security clearance granted to personnel represent the highest level or type of information to which they can be granted access. Step 1 and Level 0 for official use only. Level 0 security clearances are given to non-essential personnel with no need to access information regarding anomalous objects or entities in Foundation containment. Level 0 access is typically held by personnel in non-security, clerical, logistic, or janitorial position at facilities with no access to operational data. So basically, anybody with a level 0 clearance doesn't even know the existence of SCPs. Mostly they just see the facility and clean it, or just use numbers like administrators, accountants, and such. Hell, even Z-Thinker could be working at the SCP facility and he doesn't even know it. Level 1, confidential. Level 1 security clearances are given to personnel working in proximity to but with no direct, indirect, or informational access to anomalous objects or entities in containment. Level 1 security clearances are typically granted to personnel working in clerical, logistic, or janitorial positions at facilities with containment capability or otherwise must handle sensitive information. So it's still just personnel, but more closer to the SCP. So they might know about SCP's existence, level 1 with level 1 clearances, which is a possibility. Level 2, restricted. Why? English. How do I English? Restricted. Level 2 security clearances are given to security and research personnel that require direct access to information regarding anomalous objects and entities in containment. Most research staff, field agents, and containment specialists hold level 2 security clearance. So basically, the research staff and guards are level 2. So most of the staff. Yeah. There's level 3. Level 3 is the secret. Level 3 security clearance are given to senior security and research personnel that require in-depth data regarding the source, recovery circumstances, and long-term planning for anomalous objects and entities in containment. Most senior research staff, project managers, security officers, response team members, mobile task force operatives hold a level 3 security clearances. This list all the position I was thinking of who could get the level 3. But yeah, if you are there for long term, you probably will get level 3. And level 4, top secret. Level 4 security clearance are given to senior administrations that require access to site-wide and or regional intelligence, as well as long-term strategic data regarding Foundation operations and research projects. Level 4 security clearances are typically only held by site directors, security directors, or mobile task force commanders, mostly because they need to deal with outside forces, like the cult of the broken god, for example. They need to deal with them, so they have to know more about what works there and what doesn't. And level 5, Samuel. Level 5 security clearances are given to the highest ranking administrative personnel within the Foundation and grant effectively unlimited access to all strategic, otherwise sensitive data. Level 5 security clearances are typically only granted to O5 council members and selected staff. So yeah, this is our all 5 levels. Basically, level 0 is the nobodies, the janitors, who just working in a facility that might be closer to SCP. Level 1 is, again, janitor staff and low-level employees who working in a site that contains SCPs. Level 2 are the researchers and guards of SCP containments. Level 3 are the people who have in-depth knowledge of SCPs, need to plan long-term or capture actual SCPs. Level 4 are the site-wide people, the whole, would it say, foundation of site directors, security directors, and mobile task force commanders. And level 5 is basically O5, the O5 command. O5 command, this might be just a reference to level 5. And personnel classification are assigned to personnel based on their proximity to potential dangerous anomalies, object, entities, or phenomena. And as you can see, this is again a column, but it goes to the next page, like so. So I'm gonna switch between the two. So let's read. Class A. Class A. Not allow direct access to anomalies under any circumstances. And under Class A, there is O5 command. 13 people who have ultimate control over the Foundation and its secrets. Many employees don't even know this group exists. And seems like the administrator is above the O5 command. So the administrator isn't part of the O5 command. They're above them. Administrator, a mysterious figure playing a vital but nebulous role within the Foundation, possibly anomalous, possibly multiple people. So even the SCP Foundation doesn't know who the administrator is. And the O5 command, I have 13 people, but for some reason, it shows as 12 plus 1. Why is that? Maybe because they're voting on rules or something, need an extra person. But again, why the distinction? Because if you look at it, the 12 people are black, like the administrator, who's one white. What could be the reason for that? Maybe there isn't one, it's just a distinction. But here it doesn't says it. And another class people are the site directors, the highest ranking personnel at their assigned location responsible for the containment and safe operation of the site. So this is all of the high ranking people of a facility or even the whole Foundation. Under Class A is Class B. May only be granted access to anomalies that have passed quarantine and have been cleared of any potential mind-altering effects or memetic agents. And Class B personnel are researchers, scientists drawn from every field imaginable and tasked with understanding of unexplained anomalies. Field agents, eyes and ears of the Foundation. They are trained to look for and investigate signs of anomalous activities, often undercover. And containment specialists. Engineers, technicians, and other personnel responsible for both establishing initial containment over newly discovered SCPs and maintaining existing containment units. And under Class B, there isn't just an arrow like pointing downwards like a hierarchy, but a plus, so they might be similar level. Class C have direct access to most anomalies not deemed strictly hostile or dangerous. And Class C has containment specialists, as previously, tactical response officers, highly trained and heavily armed combat teams, tasked with escorting containment teams and defending Foundation facilities against hostile actions. Because they need these teams, because most anomalies, SCPs, are found by regular people and reported like it's a regular crime or regular accident or such things. And SCP Foundation listen to this. If they notice something strange, they're sending out field agents, like tactical response officers, security officers, or mobile task force operatives. And these are, again, even these people are in Class C, like security officers, on-site guards who enforce physical and information security for Foundation projects, operations, and personnel, and mobile task force operatives. Units comprised of veteran field personnel drawn from all over the Foundation and mobilized to deal with threats of specific nature. So basically, if the SCP Foundation finds an anomaly out in the wild, they're sending out tactical response officers to deal with it, to capture it, to contain it, and bring it back to the facility where containment specialists will try to contain it to the best of their abilities. And security officers are there to protect them, basically. They're the guards. And if there's a breach or something highly volatile, they're sending the mobile task force. Now, back to the classifications, classes. Class D, expanded D personnel. As most of you know, most of the research people that send the researchers sending are Class D personnel. Expendable personnel used to handle extreme hazardous anomalies, typically drawn from the ranks of prison inmates convicted of violent crimes, especially those on death row. So basically, people who are already signed to death, on death row, basically. So either way, they're gonna die. But within the SCP Foundation, they're gonna have a more useful death, because versus the SCP ability to protect humanity. And I don't say it's under, because as you can see, there's dashed line, but there's a Class E, which honestly, before this book, I didn't even know it existed. Field agent and containment personnel that have been exposed to potential dangerous effects during the course of securing a newly designated anomaly are to be quarantined as soon as possible. So people who are under the effect of an anomaly. So they're basically research rats. Lab rats. That might be better, worse than Class D. I think so. Because honestly, when you think about it, Class D, if you're on Class D, you're already dead, basically. You're just walking corpse. But there've been stories, writings, if you serve long enough on Class D, you can get out. Basically, serve your sentence. But with Class C, you're under effect of anomaly. We don't know what that anomaly is. We don't know its effect. might not be even possible to get it out. But if you get it out, I don't know how you get out from Class C. Maybe they proof if they didn't, you're out of it, you're normal again. Physiological evaluation or other SCPs. I don't know. Any other? How would you get out of a Class E? The effect of the anomaly is over. How would you prove it that it's over? Especially if it's memetic, especially if it's physiological. I think all of the personnel have some physiological profiles on the employees, and maybe they compare it to that. But then again, after a while, people change slowly, but they change. Do they keep the physiological profile up to date? If not, then they might even notice if the physiological profile changed. And the next, but if nobody has anything to say about it, let's go to the next page. Which is updated amnestic guide. Overview. Amnestic is a common name for a number of drugs used to erase or modify memory. Memory modification is widely used in Foundation and is the cornerstone of maintaining proper levels of privacy. Amnestics are usually produced in the process of special development of the substance produced by some SCP objects. However, synthetic amnestics that are equally effective but cheaper and easier to manufacture are being developed. So basically, forget everything you saw. You could say it's even like the Flash from Men in Black. The basic principle that allows amnestic to function relies on their effects on neural connection in the human brain. Active ingredients of an injected amnestic enter a reaction, the product of which damages these bonds to one degree or another, or destroys them completely. The stronger the amnestic, the more bonds are exposed to it. The introduction of the drug stimulates the production of certain hormones in the body, enhancing the effect. Programmable amnestics contribute to the formation of new neural connections in a manner similar to that of a nootropic drug. Their uses require redacted. Amnestics are classified according to their properties, intended usage, magnitude of effect, method of application. And even they have 2 pages of these drugs. 1, 2, 1, 4, 10 in total. Or at least there's 10 entries here, but the last entry is from class W to Z, which is strange. But this is if you see the art of it, looks like a needle that you inject, or seems like it. Let's read a few. PSA general retrograde for erasing recent and or specific episodic memories. While Class M amnestic will technically deconsolidate memories at random, they will mostly affect engrams within the memory reconsolidation window. Excuse me, what? Of 5-6 hours, as these are the memories that will be at the forefront of the subject's mind. This is especially true for highly unique episodic memories, such as encounters with anomalous phenomena. While this will be most effective after initial exposure, it is possible to reopen memory reconsolidation window, allowing for amnestic officers to trigger and then erase specific memories long after the initial formation. And you know what? I don't think we need to read it all of them. Or what do you guys think? Do you want to hear it, all of it? Or should we go to the next page, which is basically an SCP? What do you guys think? Because even these are kind of interesting how they basically keep the SCP Foundation hidden. Because most of these are retrogrades. There's ennui, huge, gaslighting, oh my. Anterograde, transient, mnestic. You know what? Let's move on. And it's gonna be our first SCP. SCP-427. Lovecraftian Locket. Reported by Dr. Orus. And pictures, later on we're gonna add some nice pictures. Ruslan Korovkin. And the class is safe. See containment procedures. Bad. What might be this Lovecraftian Locket? Special containment procedures. SCP-427 displays no means of self-locomotion or malicious intent at this time and requires only minimal containment. Due to SCP-427's adverse effects, only medical staff or of Class 3 or above may handle it or utilize it. All personnel using SCP-427 must record their total time using it in order to avoid unwanted mutation. Instance of SCP-427-1, colloquially referred as the Flesh Beasts, created by SCP-427 must be killed immediately as it is impossible to communicate with or experiment on them safely. For this reason, instances of SCP-427-1 are classified as scatter. So the object itself is safe, but the things it produces isn't. Okay. Let me drink a bit. Description. SCP-427 is a small spherical ornately carved locket made of polished silver material. The ornate carvings do not seem to serve any function. It is unknown whether SCP-427 wait, what the hell I am saying? 427's outer casing was crafted by sentient or not. Its circumference at its widest point is roughly 3 cm. SCP-427 was created after placing a field of SCP-500 in the input booth of SCP-914 and using the fine settings. 914 is some kind of machine that creates other things. Okay. I can't remember the name of it. If anybody can, please tell me. It displays no unusual activity when closed. When opened, a small glowing orb is visible at the center. The orb emits no radiation or energy aside from the visible spectrum. When SCP-427 is opened and exposed to biological tissue, it rapidly regenerates the cellular damage and somehow is able to purge invading compounds or infections. As a standard of measure, the common cold takes 3 to 10 days to be worked through the human immune system and eventually removed. In the presence of an opened SCP-427, this time is reduced to 2 to 4 minutes. Its healing abilities are directional, so anything not in line of sight with the central orb experiences no effect. However, long-term exposure produces significant health hazard. Okay, short-term exposure is good because you can get rid of almost everything. Even COVID. So there is that. Can it cure cancer? Possibly. Because it said purge invading compounds or infections. But cancer isn't invading compound or infection. But you can say it's a type infection. Food for thought. No, really no. Cancer is basically when the cell just doesn't know when to die. And it just rapidly regenerates. It's basically a damaged cell. So it might not be able to. But who knows? However, long-term exposure produces significant health hazard. As the locate is damaged, optimizes the body's natural system. Resistance to diseases and toxins is increased by 500% compared to accepted LD50 or death rate values after a total of 10 minutes of exposure, and 1000% after 15. Wow. Basically, with enough exposure, you can be sick again, which is great. After 15 minutes of exposure, muscular systems begin optimizing, increasing strength and pain tolerance by 200 to 300%. All other systems continue to optimize. As the person exposed to the device for over an hour, total began mutating into a shapeless mass of tissues. They might be over-optimized. The conversion time accelerates with the continued exposure to SCP-427. The flash beats, so named due to their appearance, created by SCP-427 are incredibly aggressive, attacking any and all personnel on site with lethal result. They are highly resistant to most known weaponry, but can be disabled with sufficient shock trauma or heat in excess of 1100 degrees Celsius or 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. Intelligence cannot be actually gauged, but mapping of biological enhancement of the brain as a direct relationship. English! Please, work with me. Relationship with optimization. Other systems suggest intelligence could exceed levels measured in human when fully transformed. So why are they highly aggressive if they're intelligent? What do they know that they think they must kill humans? Or what happened to them that made, even when they're intelligent enough, still try to kill humans? SCP-427 is currently being used as a partial replacement for SCP-500 pills, as it can cure almost anything SCP-500 is able to. All optimization imparted by 427 are cumulative. Oversight has deemed the side effect acceptable risk, but users must carefully record their total exposure time as sufficient mutations are granted for termination. And there is a nice little picture created by, again, Ruslan Korovkin on the next page, which shows a darkened room with one of these flesh beasts. Seems like he ripped apart somebody already, and a security officer is entering from outside into the room. And the outer room's red light shows the flesh beast as its tentacles just grabbing a hand. Its face, the upper face is still human, but the lower face is some tentacle-like creatures. And the body is just not, it's still, you can still see his arm, but it's on its back, it's already this tentacle-like sludge, which is great looking in my opinion. But still, you can see this flesh piece, how maybe it was over optimized, losing its bone structure, because if it's this muscle, it's thrown up to hold itself together. Why do you need bones? You don't. But again, do they feel pain? Even the descriptions say that the pain tolerance is enhanced by 200 and 300%. But again, maybe they're in pain despite being enhanced, or they're getting some kind of knowledge, maybe. Why are they aggressive if they are over optimized? This is my question. Maybe it's not even pain that drives them. Or they might have developed brain, but the frontal cortex doesn't work anymore. Because that's possibility. Because what gives our mostly our consciousness is, or well, not consciousness, but our logical part of our brain is our frontal cortex. What would happen if it's more optimized? But again, if it's more optimized, we should be able to think more clearly, no? So it's kind of interesting why they're attacking. I want to find out more about that, but there's, as you can see from the previous picture, you can see it's end of report there. There's nothing more about him or the object itself. So let's move on. It's SCP-025, well-worn wardrobe. I know of this. The wardrobe, you can get any kind of clothes, but it has a damage on it. And if you wear it, you get injured or even killed by something that does the same damage that the clothes has. Supported by that all fellow, so basically the creator, and pictured by Serge Papadin, because the next page has a picture. Wait, okay. And it's, for some reason, it's safe. Well, yes, it's safe because it's easily contained, so that's true. It's only dangerous when you get the clothes off there and put it on yourself. But let's read the special containment procedure. SCP-025 is only to be opened during testing, as it is the room in which SCP-025 is stored. Entry codes are to be given only to authorized research and security personnel. No other containment protocol required. Special containment procedure. Wait, what? That's error there. I just noticed that should be description. That's a printing error. Great. SCP-025 is a wooden wardrobe measuring 0.97 meter x 0.62 meters x 1 meter 1.95 meter. Full of clothing dating from number of time periods. Articles contained within the chest collectively named SCP-0251 match with styles of decades from the 1920s to the present. The apparel from each time frame varies with regard to style. For example, a polyester striped shirt and a pair of cargo suit pants both correspond with general size of the 1970s. Only unifying aspect of every article contained in SCP-025 is that each one is in poor condition. Most have eaten at much of the collection, and tears and runes are not uncommon. When any item from SCP-0.5 is put on, the wearer is observed either to die or suffer an injury within 24 hours. Cause of death or injury in these instances is invariably linked to the aforementioned flaws in the clothing. It only ever appears to be an unrelated incident. Wearing a glove with a fingertip cut off may result in the loss of fingertip through a simpler kitchen accident like chopping onions. Similarly, subject wearing a poncho with a sleeve missing will somehow cause the loss of the uncovered arm, be it an attack by a violent or a vehicular accident that necessitates the amputation of the limb. If placed in a sealed, unfurnished enclosure while wearing an item from the chest, the wearer will either seemingly spontaneously contract a flesh-eating disease that begins areas not covered by the clothing, or suffer the failures of the organ located beneath an imperfection in the article. Diseases arising from such incidents may not be contagious. No study has been successfully undertaken due to the speed at which the strains observed during their course. Recommended that, if possible, samples of the disease be taken to the lab for possible weaponization. Following is an obligated testing log of SCP-02.5. More thorough testing will be accompanied the classification of the document in its entirety. And before we get to the test log on SCPs, let me show you the next page art made by Serge Papadin. And it's called White Laboratory Code. And you can see two persons on it outside of a facility. One of them is standing behind with a face mask, looking at a guy wearing a damaged white lab coat with a flashlight. And the guy that's wearing the damaged white laboratory coat hangs upon several electrical cords and has burn marks on his arm and legs where the coat is damaged. I think he's dead. But yeah, that's a bad way to go, my dude. Really bad one. So yeah, let's read some test logs about this. Test log SCP-025 Section 1. Subject D77A, a 42-year-old white male. Article. I think I can go with the voices here because I was thinking reading the test logs
like this. Like you hearing from a recording. Again, subject D778, 42-year-old white male. Article 1940 white tuxedo. Imperfections. Bone seam in left shoulder. Test results. Subject was allowed freedom of the house under agent redacted supervision. For approximately 45 minutes, nothing eventful occurred. However, at blank, security tapes and eyewitnesses indicate that D778 appeared to make an attempt at attacking Agent Blank. He in turn overcame the subject with a knife, causing an inch-deep gash in D778's left shoulder, precisely at the point where the tuxedo seams was ripped. Test halted. Subject later terminated.
So yeah, this was one test log. And why would the person attack the agent when he's already at disadvantage? Maybe he wasn't told the nature of the clothes, so maybe clothes just had a mimetic effect on him. That's a possibility. And let's go to the next page. And the next one is
Subject D690. A 26-year-old white male. Article 2004 Boston Red Sox baseball cap. Imperfections. Missing size adjuster in back of cap. Logo in front partially removed. Test result. Placed in a sealed room with the subject was a table on which were loaded Jericho BBI Eagle 9-meter handgun, a grill lighter, and a hatchet. D690 chose to wear the cap backwards for the test. Potential effects of this decision on the outcome of the test are unknown. Subjects expressed reluctance to touch any of the objects on the table for several hours. Food and water were provided as necessary. After 4 hours of general inactivity, subject picked up the handgun and examined it by holding it roughly eye level. Weapon discharged into D690's forehead, where the size adjustment band would have been. The round exited the subject near the part of the head with the missing part of the logo. Now, my dude, why would you pick up a...
Now, my dude, why would you pick up a gun and examine it like that? What would bring you just see a dangerous object and bring it to your face? Unless you were under a master effect, a mimetic effect, basically. If I'm saying, sorry if I'm saying sometimes master effect, because even I'm reading a fanfics from the Worm fandom, which has super people who have master powers to control other people, and they are saying master effect. Basically, this is what happens here, in my opinion, that this laws mastering people to do dumb things that will result in specific type of death. Drink again. Holy hell. Reading aloud all of this is just, well, it's not tiresome, it just, my mouth goes dry hecton fast.
Anyway, next log. Subject D736, a 20-year-old white male. D771, a 23-year-old white male. Article, Burgundy strip sweater vest dating from 1973. Imperfection. Articles seem to have been partially eaten by moths. Several large holes in the front of the sweater. Test result. D736 was asked by researching staff to wear the sweater vest, which he did under duress. D771 was given a loaded handgun out of sight of the outer test participant and instructed to, and on given signal, fire all 6 shots in the direction of D736. After doing so, it was noted that every shot fired passed through one of the holes in the sweater vest, leaving the cloth intact and killing D736. Firearms retrieved, surviving subject transported back to quarters.
So it's just not just mimetic effect, more like reality bending effect, because what are the odds of that happening naturally? I think it's quite low. So it might have some reality bending effect. But just imagine it. You have a cloth that has reality bending effect and ability to master people. It just... Can you even imagine that? Because I'm trying one and it's just hard. Like, if you pick up a t-shirt, what would the t-shirt say, do to you, say to you, or master you to do something? Basically, that is what is happening here. And it just a bit boggles the mind because in this instant, with these clothes, there are always injuries or even death. But can you imagine close type that doesn't do that? Doesn't result in death or injury, but something else. Like it compels you to kill somebody else. That's just yeah. It just sounds so strange, even when you think about it. That can't happen in a real world. But the whole SCP Foundation is about this is happening in our world, not a different universe, not a different dimension. It is ours, which we live in. Just think about it. This exists in ours. All of this whole, everything that SCP described. It's just mind-boggling. And even just this existence of this shirt is just dangerous. Because imagine it in the hands of people who can do harm. And these people just, well, okay, with these clothes, they're already damaged, so I doubt they will work as gifts, and even wearing them. But it's a form of execution. It can work. Because honestly, you want to kill somebody, and you just force him to wear a clothes like this, and just get him to wear it. And so far, it seems, well, so far, no subject so far took it off himself. So we don't know if it still works after taking it off. But if it works, just imagine the potential of, well, using it as a killing item with no clues back to you, because all you did is force them to wear some clothes. Clothes that just randomly given out the wardrobe. How would you prove that you forced a clothes on somebody and that killed the other person? Could you even prove that? I don't think so. Because it's not normal. So this existing in our world is just dangerous. Anyway, on to the next one.
Subject D771. 23-year-old white male. Article sweater vest from above trial.
What is above trial? I know what a sweater vest is, but what is above trial? I need to Google that. Sweater vest above trial. Oh, that one. The sleeveless one. Wait, no. Already sweater vests are sleeveless, most of them. So what is above trial? Images. It's basically a coat that looks like sweater vest. Okay. I think I get it.
Imperfections, same as mentioned. Wait, what? I don't get it. Test results. D77 was this time placed in an empty room, dimension 15 meter x 15 meter per 15 meter. Only objects in the enclosure were lights overhead. Subject initially complained of boredom, then lay on his back and went to sleep. After 2 hours and 14 minutes, 2 of the fluorescent lights tubes in that ceiling suddenly dislodged and fell. Both landed squarely on holes in the sweater, shattering upon impact. One of the tubes broke into jagged pieces that impaired D771 in several areas, but only again through gaps already present in the sweater vest. Subject vitals persisted for another 6 minutes, then ceased. Further testing location will be selected to minimize possible damage to surrounding areas.
Okay. So even if the subject does nothing, reality bends the beams of clothes. Killer clothes, basically. Let's go on to the next one.
Subject: Dr. Blank. Unplanned experiment. Unidentified individual left an article from SCP-025 on Dr. Blank's desk that looked similar to an item of his own clothing. Any information about this incident and or the perpetrator of the same should be reported immediately to your staff.
See, or somebody is trying to kill someone with it. Right.
Article: Lightweight scarf dyed a number of colors. Imperfection: heavily pulled seams caused the scarf to be considerably shorter and tighter into middle. Test result: according to his itinerary, Dr. Blank, wearing the item from SCP-025, was en route to the enclosure SCP blank on blank for routine testing. However, he diverged from his intended path and began in direction towards an entirely separate wing of the facility. Subject then entered the enclosure of SCP-173 without getting accompanied or following safety procedures, and upon hearing the door closing, ping. Cause of death is the strangulation resulting from crushed windpipe.
Again, another point to being mastered, and somebody tried to kill him. No, not tried, managed to kill him. So yeah, this could be a potent weapon in the right hands. And the last test result.
Subject D82802, a 30-year-old Hispanic family. Article: 1980s Flashdance style white shirt. Imperfections: right shoulder removed, left sleeve completely cut off, entire bottom hem shredded. Test results: data expunged. All presents were presumed infected, then quarantined, and data expunged. All further tests involving 1980s era fashion have been postponed indefinitely due to the expenditures and safety hazards presented by the aforementioned experiment. Full cleanup estimate take an additional blank weeks.
Whew. Right shoulder removed, left sleeve completely cut off. Right shoulder, left. Enter bottom hip. Holy hell, what happened to this woman? And hello, Yahi! Hello, Yashin! Welcome to the Graveyard Club. Have a seat, have a drink, enjoy the show. Üdvözlehelek nektek. Csak olvashatok egy SCP-t. And most a SCP 025-öt olvassuk, ami a Well-Worn Wardrobe. Which is basically a closed article that can control you, or if it can control you, it will bend the reality around you so you get injured or killed. And if you force somebody to wear an article from this wardrobe, you can effectively kill them without getting it back to you. Because how would you prove that a clothing article killed you? You killed somebody with a clothing article by putting them on. Again, these closely are random, which ranging from the early 1920s to present day. Further testing authorized, results now awaiting declassifications. So yeah, it's quite an interesting, interesting one. I'm just still thinking, how can be more used? Because again, if you can force somebody to wear it, it's basically a death sentence. Or it just can be injury, because honestly, amputation can be survivable. But still, every time you put it on somebody, you basically kill them or cripple them, getting out of your way. Just imagine something like this in politicians' hands. That's scary, in my opinion. Because they can remove anybody they don't like. Whew. Any opinion, you guys? Let me think a bit. If nothing, then let's move on to the next one. The next one is SCP-029, Daughter of Shadows, reported by Dr. Bright, pictured by Ruslana Gus. SCP containment, and this SCP entry has a picture again, which I needed to censor. You will see why. Special containment procedures. SCP-029 is to be incarcerated in a classified containment cell. She is to be allowed access to nothing of a physical nature. The containment cell is to be placed behind triple airlock to avoid her escape. As of Incident 029-34A, SCP-029 is no longer to be fed, as she does not appear to need sustenance to survive. There are to be 3 guards on duty at all times on her cell, and 2 guards on monitor duty. Floodlights have been installed in the walls of containment chamber that are to be on at all times. Once a month, the chamber is to be cleaned and checked for defects. Under absolutely no circumstances are any meant to encounter SCP-029 in any manner. Any males who do encounter SCP-029 are to be held under Class 3 detention for interviewing before termination. SCP-029 has requested a bed, denied, a blanket, denied, books, denied, clothes, denied. And I forgot to turn the page. Why didn't anybody tell me? And seems like somebody scratched a note there somebody is Dr. Erika Oden. This is ridiculous. The girl can't even have clothes. We are not animals. Let her cover herself. Dr. Bodine, you are granted permission to deliver clothes to SCP-029. Dr. Light. And there's another note here that is currently printed. As of Incident 02953B, anyone who has potential access to SCP-029 is required to first watch surveillance tape 029 Bodine as a reminder of threat involved when working with SCP items and SCP-029 in particular. And the next page has that censored one, which, as you can see, as you can hear, she's naked. So I had to censor it. Because there's booba. And Twitch would kick my ass if I would not censor it. But if you were listening to this and not watching it, it basically a totally naked but very muscular woman who has not brown skin, not like a typical black brown skin, but actually black color black skin with patches of white here and there, and using a clothing item to suffocate Dr. Bodine, Erica Bodine. Erica just wanted to be nice, yet seems like her results, not results, gratitude is death. But yeah. And the next page, and the next page is for some reason OBS slideshow can't work with more than 16 pictures in the slideshow. I have no idea why. So let me just turn this off. And there it is. Excuse me. Excuse me. This is wrong. There's something wrong here. I'm missing a page, great. No, here it is. Okay, found it. Okay, here it is. There it is. And as you could see on the previous page, we have how she looks. Now we have a description. SCP-029 appears to be a pubescent female of a... As the freaking blood effect on it, I can't read it. Asiatic Indian descent. She appears to suffer from alopecia universalis. Over 80% of her pigmentation is a true black. So not brown black, but true black, as I say. While the rest of her skin has a complete lack of melanin to the point of albinism. Her eyes are also a dark black in color. Yeah, in previous picture, can't load it anymore. Oh well, happens. In previous picture, her eyes were open but completely black, and I forgot to mention that. Because honestly, it's kind of creepy. Anyway, let's move on. SCP-029 has severe homicidal tendencies and has displayed remarkable ability to use any item as a weapon. However, she has a severe compulsion against shedding blood, preferring instead of strangle her victims. SCP-029 has demonstrated dexterity and physical reactions 4 times as fast as the average human. SCP-029 has also displayed extensive resistance to damage of all forms. Both of these extra-human abilities are greatly hampered in the presence of bright or direct light, natural or artificial. In addition, any males who come within the presence of SCP-029, an area defined by her current perception, find themselves pliant to her will. Pliant. Such males become willing to kill or even die for SCP-029. What kind of do these people become a simps? 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 Shrimps. Okay, let's call them shrimps. Because honestly, I can't think of anything, but they become simps. Shrimps. SCP-029 refers to herself as blank. I can't even say it. Think if it's night or something like that, something edgy, which roughly translates to Daughter of Darkness. What did I say? What did I say? But it's the title of it. So, Daughter of the Shadows or Daughter of Night. Interviews with SCP-029 have proven difficult to conduct due to SCP-029's constant attempts to kill or convert all who speaks with her. Over her years of captivity, the black patches on her skin have increased in size. SCP-029 was first brought to the Foundation's attention by agents working in rural India. An attempt on his life led him to a small cult of men who claimed to be Thuggees in service of the daughter. Several weeks of investigation proved that they believed the word to be in the last years of the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga? What the hell? And that by sacrificing 1 million lives to the Daughter of Darkness, they could raise their goddess and end the world. Thuggees. Okay. They raised their goddess, so they... Okay. They also believe that only sacrifices performed through the strangulation added to this tally. Events led to the agent to their mountain fortress, where he discovered SCP-029. After the loss of said agent, data expunged, which ended in our acquisition SCP-029. I'm still thinking they just seems. Maybe not to the Daughter of Darkness, but maybe to the goddess. They strangulate 1 million people just to end the world and revive their goddess. They don't need money. They need death. Freaking simps. Addendum. 7 years after capture, SCP-029 began showing anomalous growth in her black pigmentation. When questioned about it, she claimed her followers were on the move once more. Investigation led us to concentration of so-called Thuggees that had escaped our initial foray. After discovering that all her followers were there for one of their holy days, tactical airstrike was called in. When the first bomb dropped, SCP-029 awoke from slumber, screaming at the top of her lungs. SCP-029 continued to scream for the next 4 hours, raving that we were killing her people. Fans said even the growth of black pigmentation has stopped completely. Other signs said even SCP-029 has redoubled her effort to escape. SCP-2820 has been proposed as a possible method of neutralization should the situation worsen. So, the more she kills, the more black she becomes, and sooner or later, when her body is fully covered, that could mean that they killed 1 million people by strangulation, and their goddess could review. But since all the Thuggees are taken out, the only method she can do is escape and actually continue her death. But currently, she is captured. So that's not happening. And I think I'm gonna end it on a high note, because the next one is a good one. There's a lot of pages, like from 16. Holy shit, that's a lot of pages. Let me show it to you. SCP-049, which is a plague doctor, our friendly neighborhood witch doctor. Reported by Gabriel J. DJ Cactus. Gabriel J. DJ Cactus. Okay. Pictures by Dan Tamirov, Alexander Punchov, David Romero. And yes, Claes Euclid. So he's dangerous, that we already know. Vessel containment procedures. SCP-049 is contained within a standard secure human containment cell in Research Sector 02 at the Site 19. SCP-049 must be sedated before any attempts to transport it. During transport, SCP-049 must be secured within a Class 3 humanoid restriction harness, including locking collar and extension restraints, and monitoring by no fewer than 2 armed guards. Like we can see here. Let me get this. You can stay there, but let me move you up. You can be above the chat for why I'm reading about your words. I'm moving myself. Yeah. Like so. You can watch how he is contained, how he's moved. But SCP-049 is generally cooperative with the most Foundation personnel. Outbursts or sudden changes in behavior are to be met with elevated force. Under no circumstance should any personnel come into direct contact with SCP-049 during these outbursts. In the event SCP-049 becomes aggressive, the application of lavender and multifida has been shown to produce a calming effect on the entity. Once calmed, SCP-049 generally becomes complaint and will return to containment with little resistance. In order to facilitate the ongoing containment of SCP-049, the entity is to be provided with the corpse of a recently deceased animal, typically a bovine or other large mammal, once every 2 weeks for study. Corpses that become instance of SCP-049-2, SCP-049-2, I should have said it so far. I should say a dash. Are to be removed from SCP-049's containment cell and incinerated. SCP-049 is no longer permitted to interact with human subjects, and requests for human subjects are to be denied. And there seems to be a temporary containment procedure update. The Addendum 049.3 per Containment Committee Order 0949.S19.17.1. SCP-049 is no longer permitted to interact directly with any member of the Foundation staff, nor is it to be provided with any additional corpse to be used in its surgeries. This order shall persist indefinitely until such time as a consensus regarding the ongoing containment of SCP-049 can be reached. He was naughty and got denied. Description: SCP-049 is a humanoid entity, roughly 1.9 meters in height, which bears the appearance of medieval plague doctor. While SCP-049 appears to be wearing the thick robes and a ceremony mask indicative of that profession, the garments instead seem to have grown out of SCP-049's body over time and are now nearly indistinguishable from whatever form is beneath them. So basically, he's naked because his clothes are his skin. That's what it's saying, right? Am I mistaken here? X-rays indicate that despite this, SCP-049 does have a human skeletal structure beneath its outer layer. And there is a note underneath it. The robes and gloves are identical to the thick hide built up on the skin, while the mask is composed of the kind of fitting growing out of the bones of the face. So yeah, it's basically skin. He is basically always naked. Must be up for on nude beach. SCP-049 is capable of speech in a variety of languages, though tends to prefer English or medieval French. He's French. God damn it. They think her. But SCP-049 is generally cordial and cooperative with Foundation staff. It can become especially irritated or at times outright aggressive if it feels that it is in the presence of what it's called the pestilence. Although the exact nature of this pestilence is currently unknown to the Foundation research. It does seem to be an issue of immense concern to SCP-049. And another note. Entity claims to have originated in the 15th century France, so admits that it is particularly well traveled. Okay. So he's still Frenchy. Next page, which is a black page here. SCP-049 will become hostile with individuals it seems to as being affected by the pestilence, often having to be restrained should it encounter such. If left unchecked, SCP-049 will generally attempt to kill any such individual. SCP-049 is capable of causing all biological functions of an organism to cease through direct skin contact. How this occurs is currently unknown. The autopsies of SCP-049's victims have invariably been inconclusive. SCP-049 has expressed frustration or remorse after these killings, indicating that they have done little to kill the pestilence, though will usually seek to perform crude surgery on the corpse using the implements contained in a black doctor's bag it carries on its person at all times. While these surgeries are not always successful, they often result in a creation of instance of SCP-049-2. SCP-049-2 instances are reanimated corpses that have been operated on by SCP-049. These instances do not seem to retain any of their prior memories or mental functions, having only basic motor skills and response mechanisms. Basically, they're zombies. He's raising zombies. But these instances are generally inactive, moving very little, and in generally ambulatory fashion, they can become extremely aggressive if provoked, or if directed to by SCP-049. SCP-049-2 instance express active biological functions, though these are vastly different from currently understood human physiology. Despite this alteration, SCP-049 often remarks that these subjects have been cured. Cured of what? The pestilence. Sure, but what the hell is the pestilence? And there is a note here, written in red, the space within this bag is seemingly anomalously large, as SCP-049 has been observed pulling objects larger than the bag itself from within in order to operate on the seized subject. Basically, it's TARDIS, just in Dr. Beck's form. Or just to get some water. mediums in here, like Doctor Who. TARDIS. My cat is here and looking at me funnily. Anyway, let's read some more. Like addendum. Addendum 049.1. Discovery. SCP-049 was discovered during the investigation of series of unknown disappearances town of Montauban in southern France. During a raid on a local home, investigators found several instances of SCP-049-2 as well as SCP-049. While law enforcement personnel engaged the hostile 049-2 instances, SCP-049 was noted as watching the engagement and taking notes in its journal. After all of the 049-2 instances were dispatched, SCP-049 willingly entered Foundation custody. The following interview was conducted by Dr. Raymond Ham during the initial investigation. Let me turn on the
voice here. Interviewer Dr. Raymond Ham, Site-82. Interviewee SCP-049. Begin log. SCP-049 in French. So then, how should we begin? An introduction? Dr. Ham, Side. Is that French? Can we get a translator? SCP-049 in English. Speaking English. No need for translator, sir. I can speak it. I can speak it well enough. Dr. Ham, good. My name is Dr. Raymond Ham and I... a doctor. A like-minded individual, no doubt. Virine is your specialty, sir. Dr. Ham. Hyptobiology, why? Medical men such as myself, wonders abound. Here I heard I had been adopted by common street dog. This place, then, this is your laboratory? I had wondered as clean as it is and with such little trace of the pestilence here. The pestilence? What do you mean? The scourge, the great dying. Come on, you know the... What is it they call it? No matter. The pestilence, yes. It's abound outside these walls, you know. So many have succumbed, and many more will continue to, until such time as a perfect cure can be developed. Fortunately, I am very close. It is my duty in my life to rid of the world of it, you see. A cure, to end all cures. When you say the great dying, are you talking about the bubonic plague? I don't know what that is. Dr. M, I see. Right. Well, entities are agent encountered at the house. They were dead when you encountered them, yes? And you reanimated them. In a manner of speaking, you see things too simply, Doctor. Expand your horizons. Life and death, sickness and health. These are amateur terms for amateur physicians. There is only one alignment that exists in the world of men, and that is the pestilence. Nothing else. Make no mistake, they were well here, all of them. You think you could cure these people? Indeed, my cure is the most effective. The things we recovered were not human. Yes, well, it is not a perfect cure, but that will come with time and further experimentation. I spent a lifetime developing my methods, Dr. Ham, and we spend a lifetime more, if necessary. Now, we have wasted too much time. There is work to do. I will require a laboratory of my own, one where I can continue my research unimpeded, and assistance, of course, so I can provide those on my own in time. I don't think our organizations will be willing to... Nonsense. We are all men of science. Fetch your coat and show me to my quarters, Doctor. Our work begins now.
yeah, that happened. And before I turn to the page where the end of the log was, let me show you the next page image. It is an image how they found him. Basically, it's in a abandoned house with several task force members basically fighting zombies. How else could I describe those people? They're zombies. And the doctor, the witch doctor, plague doctor, why am I calling it witch doctor? Plague doctor, experimenting on something. In the foreground, while in the background, all fighting is happening. And the next page is where the log ended. There is an interviewer note here. While SCP is the SCP-049 is capable of communicating in a very human way, it is a strange sense of unease that one experiences when in its presence. Make no mistake, there is something very uncanny about this entity indeed. Additionally, we confiscated that pointed stick that SCP-049 keeps waving around. Part of this was due to the standard confiscation protocols for the possession of anomalies, in part because 049 is really a man swinging around like he does. The entity was displayed at first, but after we made some concession in providing it with test subjects, which are admittedly more for the benefit of our own research, it warmed up to the idea. So, this is an entity that lived long time and willingly got captured, basically, to cure this potential pestilence. What is this pestilence? It is not found in SCP facilities, but outside. What could it be? Because the researcher thought it was the black plague, but the bubonic plague, as he called, but he didn't even notice it. Didn't know. I don't know what that is. The Great Dying, because as you know from history, in the 15th century there was the black plague, basically, which killed not a great deal of Europeans. I don't know the percentage or the part of it, but I think a lot of people, a lot of millions of people. So it was a great dying, as it says. But he might not be referring to that one, which we don't know which one he's referring to. Maybe with additional addendum we will find out, because there are additional addendums. Addendum 049.2 Observation Log. While in containment at Site-19, SCP-049 has spent a considerable amount of time studying and performing surgery on various mammalian corpses that has been provided. SCP-049 will routinely spend several days performing surgery, and then regardless of whether or not the corpse becomes an instance of SCP-049-2, spending several more days documenting its findings in a thick letter journal stored within its doctor's bag. SCP-049 will often seek to share its findings with members of Foundation staff. The following is a log of several occasions during which SCP-049 was observed operating on a mammalian corpse. Observational log 049.OL.1 Summary. Subject SCP-049. Preface. Test subject D85123 was introduced into SCP-049 049's containment cell. The entity expressed sincere gratitude towards all members of the containment and research staff. Observation notes. SCP-049 began by asking D-85123 several standard medical questions, began removing tools from its bag. Shortly after finishing its preparations, SCP-049 quickly closed the distance between the two, killing the subject with a touch to its throat. Afterwards, SCP-049 made a number of considerable alterations to the basic structure of the subject's corpse, often introducing fluids from within its bag into the subject by way of hand-powered pump and copper tubing. The resulting 049-2 instance became animated, flailing and grasping at the walls of the chamber with a number of manufactured limbs, while moaning out of oblong orifice now present in its sternum. I have no face and I must scream. During this time, SCP-049 was observed taking notes of the instances in its journal and remarking to the watching research staff about the efficiency of its cure. Security personnel entered the chamber to move SCP-049 back to containment and were attacked by the instance. The security team dispatched the 049-2 instance. The SCP-049 returned to containment with no resistance, stating that it was pleased with the result. And there's several more observational logs. Like, holy shit. Observation log 2. Preface. SCP-049 was provided the corpse of the recently deceased god. SCP-0-049 expressed gratitude at provision. Observation note. SCP-049 operated on the god corpse for several days, eventually resulting in an instance of SCP-049-2. SCP-049 expressed pleasure at this outcome, though admitted the disease was still in its nascent stage. My veterinary practice is rudimentary, but the patients respond well to the procedure. So the pestilence is in animals too. So what the hell is the pestilence? Observation log 3, subject SCP-049, preface. SCP-049 was provided the corpse of Decades orangutan. SCP-049 expressed noted gratitude at the provision due to the similarities between the orangutan and common human physiology. Observation notes. SCP-049 spent several days operating on the orangutan, reanimating it several times. However, SCP-049 appeared to be discontent with the results experienced, returning to the creature 3 times after its initial reanimation for additional work. After it was unable to reanimate the corpse a 5th time, SCP-049 turned the corpse over to the Foundation staff for incineration, stating, "I have learned so much from this, though I feel my early optimism was misplaced. I hadn't yet come across such a stumbling block on my road to the cure. More subjects like this would do a great deal in advancing my research." Next log is observational log 7. The previous one 3, so we missed 4 of them. SCP. Preface. SCP-049 was provided the corpse of the presently deceased bovine. SCP-049 expressed mild annoyance at the provision, so accepted it nonetheless. There's a note here. A nonetheless was circled, a note here. SCP-049 had stated its desire to work on human subjects several times between this occasion and the earlier provision of orangutan, noting its discontentness when they would be provided. Observational note. SCP-049 spent several days operating on the bovine corpse, breaking only to dine on requested dinner of crackers, salted pork, and hard cheese. And hard cheese again has a note. SCP-049 has expressed that it does not require sustenance, but enjoys it and feels that the food helps to put it in the right mind to operate. And he does it with cheese. Alright. Why cheese? Maybe because he's French. I don't know. Beginning first by unbombing the corpse, SCP-049 was observed producing a number of long syringes from its bag, each containing different dark viscous fluid. SCP-049 described these fluids as essence of the humors, and elaborated by saying the essence may bring about a systemic imbalance. In such a case, before true healing can begin, one must find the humor imbalance or the body will reject the cure. The cure has a note again. SCP-049 added to this statement by saying, "This is, of course, elementary knowledge for the practical physician. I would have thought you would have learned this during your education." And on to the next page. Yeah, holy shit, that looks like green on what I did there. Oh well. Maybe because... Oh, I think I know why. Anyway, over the next few days, SCP-049 spent a considerable amount of time adjusting the organs of the bovine corpse with a number of large metal instruments. After 8 days, SCP-049 produced a lightning rod, which Dr. Ham exchanged for an electrical cattle prod attached to the extension cord, and struck the corpse in several locations. This action seemingly had the effect of reanimating the bovine, which once again became ambulatory despite the inversion of the head and reorientation of its limb. And you can see the picture of the bovine there, which is just horrible to look at. Its head is upside down and its legs are backwards basically. And it just looks bad. And there's a follow-up interview. Let's do that.
Begin low. Dr. Ham, we watched you work for several weeks now, and honestly, I'm not sure I understood what you're doing. Can you describe your process in detail? SCP-049. Oh goodness, no. The process is not intensive. As I said to your assistant, the best instruction you will find about my methods are here in my journals, as I have kept exhaustive records of my work there. There is a note on the records. Notably, SCP-049 journals are not written in any known language, and attempts by linguists and code breakers to decipher have been unsuccessful. Dr. M. I see. My concern, Doctor, is that we still don't understand what you're seeking to cure, how it manifests, or how turning these creatures into quasi-living, mindless drones help that in that form. You do not understand the pestilence even after all this time. Doctor, it is an unspeakable horror, one that shows its true face many times before and will again. Is it the correct page? It is, okay. I feel myself blessed with the wisdom and good sense needed to root it out and destroy it. But many like yourself cannot. It is a cruel judgment I fear, be it mass progress of a disease you cannot fully comprehend. That still doesn't answer my question. How is your cure any kind of cure at all? It is a cure. You may laugh at my efforts if you please, but do not besmirch the good name of scientific progress that has developed this great mercy. What you so short-sighted sees here is a life better than any the creature could have hoped for, stricken as it was with pestilence. This creature is now clean, unable to spread the pestilence, and free from the terror it would have experienced otherwise. Dr. M, this is hardly a creature at all, Doctor. It's not even... Do not joke with me, sir. Your colleagues are like so many others, unable to look past minor setbacks to see the salvation taking place before your very eyes. Will you wait to remove rotten timbers until the hall of collapse on your top of you? No. You find them and you will pull them out and replace them with those untouched by rot. And most of all, you do not simply mock the structure because it is now looks different to you. It is strong. It is free of disease. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to agitate you. I'm just trying to understand. Yes, well, do mind your words in the future, Doctor. I'm a professional, but even professionals may feel the bite of pride in dealing with criticism of their masterpiece. I will forgive this, an act of good faith between colleagues. Dr. Han, is there anything else I can help you with? SCP. No, that will be all. Another test subject on the usual schedule. You know my preference of subject with more human anatomies. And log. Sending instruction note. SCP-049 does seem to generally want to help autoimmune stuff. It has not yet been able to provide a concrete example of what exactly it is trying to save us all from. I watched it now over several weeks, and while the outcomes do not seem to ever change, SCP-049 continues to claim that it's growing closer to its perfect cure. I think the entity may be more aware of the reality of these outcomes than it would like us to think.
And again, what is this pestilence? The entity claims it's getting closer with each operations, but closer to where? To what? What is he curing us of? And let's move on to the next incident. Because there is another one. Addendum 4049.3. The 2017 4th 16th incident. Starting shortly after SCP-049 initial containment, Dr. Ham conducted a number of interviews with subjects regarding anomalous properties. Over time, began to note its displeasure with its subject and the SCP-049-2 instances. This continued for a period of several months, during which SCP-049 never exhibited any aggressive behaviors. On April 16, 2017, as Dr. Ham was entering SCP-049 test chamber to conduct another routine interview, the entity began to grow an exercise and asked Dr. Ham if he was feeling well. Following protocol, Dr. Ham reminded the SCP-049 that the interview was required, after which the entity became hostile and attacked Dr. Ham, killing him. Due to the lapse in security protocol and because Dr. Ham did not activate the in-chamber emergency system, Dr. Ham's corpse was not discovered until 3 hours later, by which point SCP-049 had converted it into an instance of SCP-049-2. In the aftermath of this incident, SCP-049 was interviewed by Dr. Terrence Sherman. So Dr. Ham was killed, and I think the next page is basically about him as the good doctor, the plague doctor, operating on a man that I think was There was a picture of him previously. Dr. Raham. And he's about to inject him with humor, as you can see. The play doctor is sending about a body that was have been carved several times by already, and he's just looking at those. I just noticed at the top right corner there are people up there watching, or I don't know what they're doing. Interesting. The next page is, well, the interview.
Interviewer, Dr. Teron Sherman, type -42. Interviewee, SCP-4049. Begin log. Dr. Sherman, I need you to explain yourself. No response. SCP-049. You are being directed to explain your actions, and I will remind you that failure to cooperate will result in further decision during your containment. My actions do not need to be explained. You killed Raymond Ham and then butchered him until he... Not dead. No, not dead. He's cured. Cured? Cured of what? The pestilence, sir. I thought you at least would realize what luck it has been I detected before. What pestilence? You keep going on and on about this pestilence, but you have not once been able to properly identify this disease. What could you have possibly seen in him today that you had not seen so many times before, that it would be worth his life? The pestilence presents and progresses in unforeseeable fashions. There's a clear way of peeping into the unprepared and... Wait, what you want, doctor? It was a mercy I did to him. He is cured. He is a vegetable. I will not expect you to understand. You and your ilk have proven time and time again to not be not men of science, but men of emotions. You cannot appreciate the horrors I have seen. Those many millions who have succumbed to the pestilence and been changed to... Your cure cost raised his life. No good, sir. I've saved it. You would allow this world to slip back into the despair of disease and death, ignoring that I created a miracle and... What disease? What pestilence? He was a healthy man. He was a good doctor. I am offering it freely to the afflicted. You are not worth this argument, sir. You are short-sighted and foolish. Dr. Ham was sick, and I cured him. I am the only one who can do this. My work must continue. There is so much still to learn, so much to... I had enough of this. Consider your allowance revoked. Welcome to the containment 049. We're done here. SCP to do, and others can be saved. Even you, so you do not deserve it. Might be saved. I can save them all. I can cut down this plague once and for all. I can do this. Only me. I saved him, Doctor M. I cured him. He was sick. I know he was sick. I know. And you are all sick, but I can save you. I can save all you because I am the cure.
So, it was implied here that the pestilence changes people into something. So it's possible he is not referring to the Black Plague, but something else ravaged the world. something that didn't kill people but changed them into something. What could have been that? I do not know. But still, that's just something to consider. And let's go on the last page, and I think I'm gonna go stop there. Addendum 049.4 Post-Incident Report Interview. The following interviews, except from July 16th, 2017, 049 incident. The interview was conducted by Dr. Elijah Itkin and took place 3 weeks after the start of the initial investigation. Date 5/7/17. Interviewer Dr. Elijah Itkin. Interview SCP-049.
Dr. Itkin, SCP-049. We are conducting this interview to close out our investigation of your action taken on April 16 that resulted in the death of our staff member. Do you have any comments to make? Only that I look forward to the day when you will allow me to resume my work. I've spent the last few weeks compiling my notes and constructing new theories for how the pestilence was able to infect someone in such insidious manner that I nearly couldn't detect it. Dr. Itkin, have you experienced any remorse for your actions, for the death of Dr. Ham? Ah, yes, well, the death of the colleague is always regrettable, but in the face of pestilence we must be swift, Doctor, and act without hesitation. Dr. Sharma noted in his report that you seemed to be mournful during your initial interview. Mourn? Perhaps. I am not thought for that. It is lamentable that a fellow doctor became infected, but the work continues. Regrettably as it was, Dr. Ham's death provided important insight. Living human subjects are the only way to proceed forward. I am decided. My cure is of little use on the death flesh, and I have gleaned all I can from your generous supply of corpses. My desire is turned towards them those still living who suffered from the disease. I am afraid you're going to be disappointed. Oh, Doctor, I wouldn't be so sure. End of log.
Whew. That was a read. And that was something else as well. Because honestly, if you read the context, the plague Dr. Cyst is a different plague than the bubonic plague, that black plague that killed millions in Europe. It's something that changed humans. Plague, that pestilence, that changed into them something. And it's the living beings. It is very, very strange. I have no idea how to comment on this, because even if somehow you need to explain it, that what is this pestilence, how do you notice it, how do you prevent it? He just needs to share this one thing with the doctors and they can help him, but he didn't. For some reason he never shared it. Let me just put you back here in the corner under the chat. I said under the chat. So yeah, it's strange. There are more, of course, but I don't think I'm gonna show them right now, because this is where I'm stopping. But I'm still thinking what that pestilence changed into something. If they just operating them, adding them humor would cure them, changing them into something else, something mindless, cure them. What is the pestilence that doesn't save them from? Because there is nothing indicating what ENVtuber will be. We could see one of them. Maybe we could figure out what it is. But since he's trying to cure it before it becomes an issue, the issue is his method of curing them. Curing. I don't me no speak English. Me stop here. I'm tired. Been reading for 2 hours out loud. And honestly, I've been trying to comment on things, but it is way more useful when I can talk with somebody about this. So I do want to read more of this, but next time I might get some other people to come here and read about it with me. Because honestly, I love this. I like to think about the implications of this. There's a disease out there that's just so insidious, so weird, as he said, that it's nearly undetectable. And what is this disease? How does it change us? What does it change us? What other disease we know that might line up with? Or is it just, again, an anomaly that we never recorded in history? I don't know. But anyway, I think, yeah, I'm stopping here. And let me see who I can raid. Let's go with Crypto, who is doing a 24-hour live stream. And he's playing with Z-Thinker, Magic, a lot of my friends. So let's rate her. So, everyone, thank you for coming and listening to me reading about this and my own thoughts about this. And next time, I'm going to try to get somebody on the stream to read it together, and we can talk about maybe a bit more entertaining, a bit more podcast-like, maybe even. But we'll see. So, the channel, Crypto, Pico. So, yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for talking with me a little bit. And yeah, thank you for everything. And have a great day, night, or whatever have you. Goodbye.